When I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan. Yo. When I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Touchline Fracas. Hoping I sound clear. Tobs made me spend about 10 minutes sorting out my audio, despite the fact he was about 10 minutes late, but I digress. Let me go around and introduce this week's panel. I'll start with you, Tobs, since I mentioned you first. How's it going, mate?
Christmas, great. Week's been great. Tottenham, shit. So yeah, that's just how I am.
Life. Koogs, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm very good, man. I had a blessed week, in the lead up to the new year. Christmas was, very enjoyable with the family. I'm all good. I'm all good.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that festive cheer. Our very own Canary Wharf Black, Dr. Mike, how you doing?
Let's rework that introduction, brother. But I am well. I'm very well.
How are things on the wharf this week?
This ain't the Wharf. This is HMP Pentonville, bro.
Listen, I couldn't be further.
This is HMP Pentonville because Dr. Mike looks like he is literally in the prison cell right
now. Let's move on with the pod. Let's move on with the pod. Move on with the
His funds have been taken.
Bro, yeah, so a few dodgy deals. I got caught.
The best of us, man. We go again. Before we start, I've got to do the usual plug the socials. Obviously, if you're not following on the Twitter, that's Touchline Fracas. You see the visuals for the pods coming out now on the YouTube. That's Touchline Fracas as well. So give that a follow if you're somebody who prefers the visual. The aim is to have the full pod up the morning after the audio goes out. If somebody wants it a bit sooner, maybe we'll create a Patreon. People can pay to get it early. I don't know, just a business idea that just came to mind. There, obviously, I've got Touchy Gooners, Copem Fracas, we've got Morgar, myself, we've got New Spurs Order, Chelsea Hour. If you're a Club Pod listener, listen to those. We had a Discord on Boxing Day this week, which was nice. We'll try and aim to do those like once a month. Let's start with something realistic. Take a look at the calendar, agree a spicy game, and try and get as many people on as possible. Anyway, I digress. That was all preamble, holding up to having to pass over to Mike to discuss Liverpool absolutely demolishing West Ham. There's something about that late 4:30, all eyes on me, when after like 30 minutes, it's done. Nothing more to see here. Crack on and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. So, Mike, talk to us. How are you feeling in the build up to this game?
Yeah, I think in the build up to the game, I felt it would be a tricky game for us just because I think West Ham are the sort of team that I don't think they're a good team under this manager at all, but they're sort of team that, at home, under the lights, maybe they can give you like a bad 20 minutes to start the game, maybe score a goal through Jared Bowen or something. But I felt that I wanted it to be an open game because I felt like we have the stronger chin and the bigger punch. So I'm okay with that. If you want it to be an open game, we can go machine for machine and we'll win the game. But in the end, it ended up being a game we controlled from start to finish pretty much. I think the real turning point in the game is from like minute 38 to minute 40, where Kudus hits the post and he makes a really good run, hits the post. We stand off him and he probably shouldn't be allowed to shoot the way he's allowed to shoot, but he hits the post. And literally like 2 minutes later, we play the ball over the top. And before you know it, Gakpo scored the second goal and the game's done. So yeah, it was a controlled performance, and I think what we're seeing from this Liverpool team is just like they're in the mood now, just picking up points. So even Leicester, for example, I was at the game, and we went 1-0 down in the game, and it was a goal that came against a run of play, and it might be easy for the crowd to panic and the crowd to get a bit nervous and stuff, but we all just thought, you know what, we'll win this game, and I think we're just in a mindset of we trust this team a lot. They're delivering week in, week out. Different opponents, different game plans. We're dealing with all the different game plans, and yeah, it looks like we're at the moment we're going to take some stopping. I'm quietly confident. I still think that there's still some work to do. It's obviously only the halfway mark of the season, but I think if we keep running at a steady pace, which I think we can, and we've got the kind of best attacking tools in the league, I think we've got one of, if not the best defenses in the league. So yeah, I think it's all falling into place for us this season. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, fair enough. You can't really have put it any more succinctly and clearly. Let's talk about some of those players on show tonight. And I think I'd be remiss not to start with obviously best player in the league so far this season. Mohamed Salah grabbed another goal, an assist. Just talk about this run that we've seen from Mohamed Salah the last few weeks, but really just this side of the new year.
Yeah, he's been incredible, to be honest. And I think today again, his influence on games is really, really strong from an attacking point of view. In fact, so many of our attacks flow through him. You know, players are making runs off him when he has the ball. Players are looking to find him for the final action off moves now. That's always been the case, but you just see that happening more consistently in games. Like I think he's got a record now. I think he's got like 8 games of a goal and assist this season. And I think that's the record of like in the league ever. And no player's ever got a goal and an assist in 8 different games, and he's done that so far. So he's just central to everything. And even I think the best moment for me, everyone's talking about the assist for the Gakpo goal. His best moment for me is the assist for the Jota goal, where he kind of goes past, I think it's Mavropoulos, the centre back for West Ham, and then he waits and times to pass to Jota in such a perfect way that all Jota has to do is just stride onto the ball and side foot it home. And so many times you see that pass played too early or it's played ahead of the player, just waits to pass perfectly. Jota scores an easy goal and Jota straight away points to Salah. That's your goal, mate. Thank you very much. So, yeah, he's playing at a really high level at the moment. And people are talking about the Christmas tree curse. So far since the Christmas tree curse, apparently he's got 2 goals, I think, and 3 assists or something like that. So, yeah, let's just keep rolling on. I think this is probably the
getting
best.
ahead of yourself. You're getting ahead of yourself, Mike. Yeah, the Christmas tree curse. The Christmas tree curse doesn't land on Boxing Day, bro. It doesn't land on Boxing Day.
We passed Boxing Day.
Yeah,
when does it land?
I think if you see the stats, I think Salah he's got bare goals on Boxing Day over the years. Yeah, so I think he scored some of the most goals. So it starts in January. Yeah, it starts in January.
Okay,
12 days of Christmas. Yeah, we're gonna wait for the 12 days of Christmas to end. Yeah, and then we'll get it cracking. Man.
You know what it is,
happens.
Bugsy? This is your last bit of copium. This is your last bit of copium. That's what it means more to you.
Listen.
Drake,
Don't tell me anything. Yeah, I got copium in liters, bro. Yeah, word to Marco, word to Diddy. Yeah, I got 500 liters in my closet.
Okay,
yeah? Don't worry.
I got endless copium. Yeah,
let's be steady. Let's be steady, brother.
Oh my God.
Be steady, brother.
So we got a goal today also from Trent. I was checking his stats and I think it's something like 350 games, 93 assists, almost 30 goals. So absolutely ridiculous stats from right back. But obviously, you'd have to be living under a rock to not have seen the news this week, looking more and more likely, apparently, that he'll be taking his talent to sunny Spain. What does that mean to you? Because I've seen kind of differing opinions from the Liverpool fan base. Some are outraged and want him yanked from the team. Others are happy for what he's delivered, and if he can leave with a league title, he goes off with their blessing. Where do you stand, Mike?
Yeah, we had this debate in the Cop-End chat this morning. Actually, I think some Liverpool fans, including some of the peeps at Cop-End, are a bit confused. He might want to join Madrid. I'm less confused. I think ultimately, the way I see it is, Trent's probably going to win another league title with us, maybe something else this season. He's won a lot, you know. So with Steven Gerrard, the whole thing was Steven Gerrard wants to win the league with Liverpool, right? It means more, right? So he stays because that's a goal he hasn't quite achieved. With Trent, that's going to be done hopefully in another time. This time with fans in the stadium. Like, there's nothing else for him to like tick off beyond. Maybe he wants to be a one club man. Maybe he wants to captain the club, and he said that before. But I think, look, it's come to the point of his career now where he's 26 next year, and the biggest club in the world is saying to him, look, we're going to pay you more money than your current club. You're going to play with better players. You're going to win the league every other year probably, and the Champions League probably. If he stays there for 5 years, win Champions League at least once or at least twice. I think it's a big. I completely understand from his point of view why he looks at Madrid and thinks, you know what, I really want that move. For me, I would be bitter because I'm a bitter man. Let's be absolutely clear. I would be bitter. He wouldn't leave with my blessing, but I would understand why he wants to leave. And I think,
would you leave with your hatred?
Why is he not leaving with your blessing?
Because I don't want my best players to leave my club. So of course I'm going to be bitter. I'm a bitter man.
Of course you don't.
You're a bitter man.
Of course you don't want your best players to leave your club, but I just wanted to clarify: is it bitterness towards the fact that he's leaving, or bitterness towards him?
Business that he's leaving. I don't feel like I said. I was going to finish. What I was going to say to you, Tobes. What I was going to finish with is, supposing I'm 20. I'm going to be 26. I've won every trophy there is to win at my boyhood club, and the biggest club in the world is saying, "I'm going to pay you more. You're going to get to play for us for a couple of years, play with some of the best players in the world." At 26, would I not be tempted by that? Of course I would. So I don't blame Trent for being tempted, and I don't blame Trent for potentially wanting to leave the club. So look, he wouldn't have my blessing, but I totally understand why he wants to leave, if he wants to leave. And if it happens, I would be bitter, but that's the nature of the beast. That happens. Football. The cycle of football.
Yeah, and you got Conor Bradley, your very own steady Eddie Gary Neville regen to replace a once in a generation right back in Trent.
That's very snide of you.
Not at all.
But yeah,
Gary Neville is one of the most successful right backs in Premier League history.
I think with Trent as well. I think the difficulty with Trent's contract, difficulty with all the contracts, is they all so interlinked in that every player has a case that they could easily go to the club and be like, "I want to be the best paid player at the club." So Virgil van Dijk can say to you, can say to FSG, whoever it is, "Look, I'm the captain. I'm the best centre back in the world. I have been for a number of years. I should be the top earner at the club right now." Mo Salah can say, "Look, I'm the top earner right now. I've scored all these goals. I've got all these assists. I'm not going to slow down anytime soon. I should be the top earner." Trent could say, "Look, I'm going to captain the club one day. I am 26. Age is on my side. I should be the top earner to reflect my growing status as a player." So the difficulty for the contracts for me is, where do the club draw the line in terms of who do they make the top earner is the first thing. And if Mo remains a top earner, it's probably the easiest one to do because Mo's already the top earner. And you might have to bump up the other two to kind of be close to him. But then like the other two have a strong case to be. So it's complicated, I think. And I think ultimately
I think that's an interesting point you make. I think from the outside looking in, obviously you'll know your club much better than I do. But I don't think it's complicated at all. I think Mo clearly has earned the right to be the best paid player. Attackers are typically paid more than midfielders and defenders. They have the most difficult job on the pitch. And as long as Mo continues to perform at a high level, he's the top dog in the dressing room. And I think the only time it gets complicated is where guys start to outperform him relative, and then they start to say, why is Mo paid more than him? But I think if you go to VVD or you go to Trent and say, Mo's on 350, but we'll pay you 300, they ain't gonna be too mad. And we'll get you bad bonuses.
I get that. I do think that I wonder with Trent if I think Trent's got a big ego, right? And like that's fine. That's why Trent is so good, because Trent is an arrogant footballer. But I think Trent looks at himself and thinks he's one of the best players in the world. And I don't know what that means in terms of what he wants in terms of wages. But I think all three players might be putting a case forward to the club that they should be the top earner at the club. Now, I again agree with you, Morayo, that it should be Salah, because he is currently the top earner and he isn't a forward, and forward should always earn the top dollar. But I can imagine a world where, for example, it would make sense if you're Trent Alexander-Arnold to negotiate for your contract after you know what Salah's got, because Salah becomes the bar and you can kind of adjust your demands according to that. But yeah, so it's I do think it's difficult because they are our three best players, and all three of them could easily make a claim that they want to be the top earner, or their camps can make the claim they want to be the top earner. Now the Salah claim is stronger, but the other two do have some claim. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Fair enough. So is there anything that worries you? Obviously, Diaz scored again today. I think Gakpo is looking better than he did last season. You're able to get some of your guys off early. Joe Gomez, a bit of an injury, which might be a worry when we find out a bit more about it. But the machine is humming. Is there anything that is worrying you, or you're keeping your eye on?
I think defensively, I'm not too happy with the kind of cheap goals we give away. Even the Leicester one, like Leicester, they didn't even deserve the goal. Like if you look at the game, we completely dominate the game, but we keep giving away like little soft goals. Like it's a minor thing, but like I would rather we don't concede soft goals. Like, even against Tottenham, I was really irritated with Slanky goal and the Kulusevski goal. Again, like they're really good goals, those two goals actually. But like I want us to like be a bit more ruthless defensively. But that's a minor thing, and I think when we get Konate back, and he's back, I think in a week or so, you'll see the numbers going to tick back up and trend upwards. So. Yeah, I think the big thing for me, and the reason why I do feel so quietly confident, is you look at the two teams around us. I think Chelsea are a good side, but inexperienced. And I think they've shown already in the past couple of weeks that they will drop points in some games where you might expect them to win. And I think with Arsenal, the big thing is Saka's out, right? And Saka is their best player by distance for me in terms of like goals and assists and output, in terms of driving the game, in terms of winning a game by himself. Saka's their best attacker. And if you look at the other attackers they have there, Havertz, Trossard, Jesus, would you trust those guys over the course of the next 6 months to deliver the goods? I personally wouldn't consistently. So unless they dip into the market at Arsenal, they're going to really struggle, I think, in those tight games like a Brentford, a Brighton, a Forest, those games where it can get a bit murky. Saka's the one to get out of the mud for them. And Ødegaard can do it, but he's not the kind of guy that gets you 15, 20 goals, right? So, yeah, I think things have fallen into place for us in such a way that if we didn't win it from this point, it would take.
What was it? You think it would? You think it would
completely collapsed? Like we completely collapsed in a way that like is peak. So, yes, looking good, brother.
The attacker's got to keep humming though. That's the thing, right? Because Mo Salah is bringing the heat. But Dan makes a good point, right? On the Salah curse, right? This isn't the period where Salah normally drops form. Salah will drop.
I'm hearing sirens in somebody's background.
Yeah, the police are driving past.
So the irony of accusing my
saying he's an HMP Pentonville. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
It's that airport threat. It's that airport threat.
They've been watching him ever since that video.
But no, so I think with Mo Salah, it's a case of can he keep it up, right? Because we've seen, I think it was the 21-22 season where he was on smoke for the first half of the year, went to AFCON, dipped. I think last year, I think his form sort of tailed off a little bit in, I would say, the first couple of months of 2024. I think that sort of Q1 of 2025 is key. And it's not key for Salah because it's the truth. It's not key for Salah because Salah has mashed his work. He's like, yo, I've got us to this position. I'm gonna keep ticking. I'm gonna keep doing what I can, but I can't do it by myself.
So, Tobs, what I would say to rebuttal your point is both of the seasons you mentioned are AFCON seasons where Salah literally travels out of the country for a couple of months or a month and a bit, plays for Egypt, comes back, struggles to kind of adapt. So 21-22 is a really good example of that, where he goes on this ridiculous run of scoring like in 11 games in a row or something. Then he comes back and struggles. And the last season, he picks up an injury at AFCON, famously picks up an injury at AFCON. And it's the first time I can recall him having a proper injury for us. And obviously struggles to kind of get back his rhythm. So I actually think with Salah, he doesn't even need to go at this pace. It needs to be maybe a goal every game or every other game, the odd assist. Like we're in a position of such comfort now that it doesn't need to be a goal and assist for 20 games in a row. It just needs to be a steady flow of output. Jota's back now. Gakpo's kind of scoring. It's fine. I think we've got enough.
You've got enough for him to chip away. But my point is the likes of Jota's injury prone. I'm more looking towards Gakpo and Diaz because I feel like they will play more football than Jota. Between now and the end of the season, they will play more football than Jota.
What's your worry? Because I think I mentioned this point on last week's pod, and just made a great point because I was like, typically people who win the league have two scorers. Like they'll have a main guy and then another guy, and Liverpool don't. But of the teams who chasing them, who does?
It's not a worry per se. It's more like okay, like if you're looking at what could trip them up. I feel like this could be something that could trip them up because if I look at Diaz, right? Diaz, all of a sudden he's back in the goals. He's got 4 goals in his last 2 games. But Michael will correct me on this if I'm wrong. But I think those are his first league goals in like 2 months of football, right? Cody Gakpo has been playing in September exactly. Cody Gakpo has been playing quite well for Liverpool in general play, but if you look at his numbers, I think Brennan Johnson's probably got more goals than him in the league this season, right? So it's more a case of, this is a highly functioning team at this point in time. These they've done well in spells. Now they need to sustain, right? For me, sustenance is key, and you've not seen that from Cody Gakpo over a full campaign for Liverpool, and you've not seen that from Luis Diaz over a full campaign for Liverpool. So they have to keep ticking. Like it can't just be Mo Salah and inshallah. It really can't.
Yeah, it's a good point. I do think they will, between the 3 of the 4 of them, kind of like contribute enough as well as Mo Salah for us to kind of win. I also think the bigger concern for me isn't about the forwards. I actually think the forwards are fine. It's if Gravenberch picks up an injury, but he's out for like a stretch of games.
End of summertime, yeah.
Yeah.
That
listen, yeah. So
he's
so obviously, Mike, you said a few things about Arsenal as well, but I think this. Let me tell you some of my copium as well. Yeah. So what I got left in the.
Mike, you're just getting more and more blurry, bro. Wherever you are.
What, me or Mike?
Mike.
Okay. Yeah. So I think, to be honest, I've never really looked at this period. I think there was a period that I looked at Liverpool potentially dropping points, and the scenario, I should say, not a period, is if Konate goes down. I thought that you know, the Konate VVD axis started the season very, very well. You know, looking stalwart at the back. Teams aren't really getting a sniff. I think Konate was really shutting down that right hand side. And then when he went down, I think there was actually a little wobble there from your defense. And I think the number of, to your point, Mike, you know, giving teams easy goals, Leicester game, this, that, and the other. And I think, you know, conceded 3 against Newcastle, conceded 3 against Fulham as well. Obviously, that the Fulham game, you're down to 10 men, this, that, and the other, right? And I think that was one of the things that I was looking at, is that, you know, you look at Konate's career for Liverpool to date. I think the most games he's played in the season is 19 league games for Liverpool. You know, never even hit the 20 game mark. And that could be wrong, but that was the last last one that I saw. So I thought, you know, the guys coming in, Kwanzaa, whether it's Kwanzaa or Gomez, not sure they're as strong defensively. Could Liverpool, you know, maybe start leaking some goals? And I think you did have a little bit of a wobble there. And, you know, with certain injuries in midfield at that period, you did, you know, look a little bit shaky. But through this Christmas period is not really where I've been looking at Liverpool actually dropping points. I think, you know, to what Mike said, looking at West Ham away as a tricky fixture. From what we've seen of them this season, absolutely no chance they were taking points off Liverpool today. They've been atrocious at the back all season. You know, we're going to talk about managerial performance in the awards, this and the other. That might need to be renamed the Lopetegui Award, the amount of times he's been nominated for that in this season alone. You know, the goalkeeper becoming manager, you know, pathway is not a good one, so it seems. And I think that the main areas that I'm actually looking at Liverpool is, I don't actually think you've got the biggest of squads. I think your front line is pretty strong, but defensively and in midfield, I don't know if there's that same strength in depth, particularly in the number 6 position, right? So I think when it comes from February to March, I expect you guys to go through the League Cup to the League Cup final. To be honest, given your performance against Spurs in the league recently, I don't see how Spurs beat you over 2 legs. I expect that to be an extra 3 games. You're not going to play the double header playoff game in the Champions League, but when the Champions League knockouts then start proper, and it is big game and it's not just a big game in terms of intensity, it's a big game in terms of obviously the emotion, the what's on the line going through the next round in the Champions League, etc. That is where I would look at Liverpool, that February to April period, and say, right, you've played a big game in the Champions League, and then you have to go to a Nottingham Forest away. You know, then you have to go to you know, a Fulham away. Then you have to go to an Aston Villa away, which is, you know, the teams who are actually performing very well this season. Those are the grounds where you actually haven't been. You know, I think for the last sort of 10 or so away games that you've got to play, most of them are actually against teams in the top 10, right? So that's where I'm looking at, you know, if Liverpool come through that period, then yeah, you know, they're going to be champions. And I think the issue that I have, to just talk about Arsenal as well, is when you did have your hiccup, we also had our hiccup. So now it's a big question: are Arsenal going to be good enough to even make up the gap if Liverpool do, you know, lose to Nottingham Forest away? Are Arsenal going to beat their Brentford? You know, are Arsenal going to beat a Brighton to then close that gap? And I think that's the biggest question mark I have about our own team right now. Obviously, with the Saka injury, with the Brighton injury, it's not even a guarantee that we're going to be able to put a run together to, make up that gap. So, I think Liverpool are very much firmly in the driving seat. There's no two ways about it. And they've built up such a buffer that, even if they slip up, basically the other teams have to pretty much be perfect. And I don't think, they're in a position to really expect that outcome. I don't think this is a City team under Pep Guardiola where they're going to just put through, 19 wins in a row. I can't see Arsenal doing that the way that we're playing at the moment. So, I think Liverpool have done the work they've done in the first half of the season. And, it will probably take something. It will take something really, really miraculous, I think, for a team to make up that gap, given just where the other teams are. I can't see Chelsea doing it. I can't see Arsenal doing it. I think City, laughable. So that's just where we are.
This is glorious. This is glorious listening.
So is it unfair to say that Liverpool are better than Arsenal?
No, it's not. It's not unfair to say. And to be honest, let me talk about that as well. Let me talk about that because I said it on WhatsApp as well with these men. So they already know that I didn't even mean it when I said it. But I just wanted to tussle, and it was too much Liverpool love on that pod. Mush was there smiling away. I'm just looking at it, looking at his face, he's getting angrier and angrier. I was like, you know what, F it, I need to just chuck a spanner in the works. So
you just went for it, man.
To be honest, I was just making up the argument as I was going along. I was on SofaScore trying to find something that would just support it.
That's nasty business. That is nasty business.
To support it in the moment, So you know what? I think I gave a good account of myself because
there's been so many classic clips this season already, but that one is gonna age so
glorious.
well.
It's glorious.
So yes, and then you're just like this.
And also as well, right? How many years or months do we have left since his Bukayo Saka is going to be the best right winger in the world?
Don't worry. That's on my agenda.
Thank you.
Calm down. You're gonna get some, man.
Don't worry, man.
Put the Saka chat in the bag, bro.
Anyway, Morayo, have you got an Arsenal segment? Morayo, have you got an Arsenal segment?
Yeah, as I sent you the agenda ahead of the pod, Arsenal was part of that.
I just want to ask Mr. Dan Koogs a question here.
This is not the Arsenal segment. When we get to
Arsenal
segment,
if I make it okay. Well, I'll wait. I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna get some.
You are cool. Yeah. Let's go to a team whose fortunes are not as positive as Liverpool at the moment. Another game, Tobs. Another game you don't win at home against Wolves. Talk to us. Try and keep it succinct.
Expected. In fact, it probably wasn't expected. I'm actually shocked that we got a point out of that game because I fully expected Wolves to come to our ground and turn us over today. The performance was better than I actually thought it would be. Like we were a lot more defensively resolute than I have seen in recent weeks. I think we created more than enough chances to win this game of football, including the penalty that Son missed. But I just think when you're down in the dumps and you have a manager who's looking incompetent at the moment, you have a bunch of players who are inconsistent or out of form, and you have a team riddled with injuries that were not sufficiently like padded with the quality that we needed from the summer transfer window to deal with the season. It's just one of those results that's literally just like it's an expectation, right? Like nobody outside of N17 is shocked that we've dropped points because it's just something that we're so used to over the course of this season. A lot of people are fixated on how bad the form has been in December, but no, this isn't a December thing. Our form has been shocking the entire calendar year. The only grace we gave was last year, second half of last season. It's the manager's first season. Squad's not good enough. In the summer, we sold some deadwood. You got some young players. Squad's still not good enough, but it's not the worst squad. But the results have still been poor. We dropped points. Our first game of the season against Leicester away, championship team. Championship opposition, we dropped points. We've lost to Ipswich at home. We obviously dropped points against Wolves. We've lost to Crystal Palace away. So these results have been happening all season. This isn't just like a normal thing. So for me, I can't really be too upset at the result because it's more than I expected. But when I look at the state that Tottenham are in, it's nasty viewing, man. It's nasty viewing. This is West Ham. When I look at the teams that have been terrible this season, I'm looking at West Ham. I'm looking at Southampton. I'm looking at Man United. And when I look at our form, when I look at the goals we conceded, when I look at the results, we are literally trending in the same trajectory as these teams. It doesn't make any sense. It's embarrassing, bro. It's absolutely embarrassing.
How long does it go? Because I think you kind of mentioned that the fan base are divided, and I've got a mate who's a Spurs season ticket holder, and I asked him the question, and he kind of echoed those sentiments that you kind of mentioned to me in regards to not all the fan base necessarily wanting Ange out. What do you say? Not for me. I'm leaning towards blaming Levy for the lack of depth in the squad. Feels like popular opinion with Spurs fans might be going Ange out, though. Unfortunately,
it's both, man. Like we can't like. So let me address the Levy point first, and I say this all the time. I've been on any football chat that I've been with anyone from Touchline. I've had my foot on this guy's neck for years because he just shortchanges every single manager that we have. Every single manager, whether it's Paratici as our sporting director or Johan Lang, there is just something that he has an influence over that makes us do stupid things in the transfer window, like spunk our transfer fees on kids, but don't bring in the actual experience quality to go straight into the first 11. Like, not sign a goalkeeper, register 4 goalkeepers for European competition, but you can't even play 2 of them because they're not good enough, and don't register Jed Spence. Not signing a left-sided defender, not signing an experienced attacker to go alongside Odegaard, not signing another midfielder. There's just so many levels of incompetence that we see from this team, season in, season out. But everyone always looks at the fact that, oh, Spurs are spending money. You're spending money. Why are you complaining? We're complaining because the allocation of spend doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And yes, the spend that we're spending is relative to what we're making. So we need to spend more. We've gone through a period of rebuild over the last 3 years because we've had to bring the average age of our squad down because we saddled ourselves with so much dross, so much crap over the last 5 years that we've had to shed. And in order to shed, you need to spend money. You need to replenish the team with younger, hungrier players. But this club, they can never strike the balance between being reactive, being proactive, signing top talent, signing squad players, signing young talent. Like, the balance is always off. It is always off. Like, there's never been, I can hand on heart say there's probably been maybe one window in about 12 years where I can confidently say in the summer I've been sufficiently satisfied with the work we've done, and I can say, you know what?
That's a question for you, Tobs. Not to cut in, but I have. Who's a team who you've seen do what you've described well? Because I think what you're describing is really difficult.
It's difficult, right? But I look at, okay, cool. Let's scratch out this summer. But Arsenal, I think they've done way better business than we have the last couple of years. I think Liverpool have done better business than we have the last couple of years. I think not Man City, because I don't think their business has been good. I think Chelsea did way better business than we did this summer. I look at Brighton. I think Brighton have done better business.
Let him finish.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is, though, Tobs? Yeah. Do you know what it is? Because it's like, I think the difficulty from the outside looking in that people struggle to pass, is that if you look at the actual amount that has been spent at Spurs, right? People just look at the numbers and will say, "Oh yeah, this is ambition because Spurs have spent 800 million in 5 years, this, that, and the other, right?" But I think the clear difference in the strategy that Spurs have shown is that the owners have never really sort of gone above and beyond to really say that we want to win on the pitch. Do you get what I mean? I think the one time where they've sort of, I think, just backed a manager regardless kind of thing is to get players in that, it doesn't really matter whether it's logic, this, that, and the other, has always been when they're chasing Champions League football, right? Yeah. Where it's like, Conte says, if we want to make top 4, give me my Perisic. If we want to make top 4, give me this guy, right? Where it's like, all right, fine. This kind of doesn't really make sense. We'll give you this 35-year-old. We'll give you this 28-year-old. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, because now we want to solidify that Champions League football. But then when it comes to, I think, making that next step and saying, all right, where we've come second twice under Pochettino, right? Pochettino's saying stuff in the media about, we need to revamp, we need this, that, and the other. They're kind of like, well, we're okay with where we are right now. We don't need to dip in. Do you get what I mean? And I feel like as a Spurs fan, that is where I can definitely see the frustration, is that these owners have never really, gone the extra mile to try and win something in terms of, league position. And I think, the strategy that you showed this summer as well, it said to me that, you're not really a serious institution. Do you get what I mean? Because I think, and when I say serious institution, I'm not trying to take 100% right. Yeah, I just mean in terms of like they're not on stuff. Do you get what I mean? Like they're just happy to compete for Champions League, and that's 100%. About it, really. Because I think with the Arsenal owners, I've had my issues with them for a number of years, this and the other. But I think definitely under Arteta, they've actually backed this guy more than I think anyone would have ever expected them to back. Like you've gone out, you've bought £100 million player. You've gone out, this guy, you've said, this is the guy that I want managing my football club for the foreseeable. We don't care if you've come 8th twice. We're going to, get you everything that you need. You sign a left back here. You want a new one in the next year. We're going to do that for you. You sign a midfielder. You want a new one the next year. We're going to do that for you. We're going to spend £100 million. We're going to sign this guy for 65 million. We're going to give him 260k a week. This, that, and the other. And to me, that says that look, these lot are really thinking that this guy could be a success. We're going to back him. And I think for FSG under Klopp, they've kind of done that in a similar way. Not necessarily funded it in that same way, but they've said, if you want Virgil van Dijk for 75 M's that people are saying is, overpriced, this, that, and the other, we're going to go do that. You want Alisson, we're going to make the most expensive keeper of all time. We're going to do that. You want Fabinho, we're going to get that done before the season's even finished. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think Spurs have never really moved like that to make things happen in that way, personally.
And go on. I know you, because I know you obviously play devil's advocate, so I can sense where you're going, but go on.
What I will say in regards to Liverpool is obviously what Liverpool fans have maintained is that the money that they used to buy those players was money that Liverpool had made from sales, and actually they haven't necessarily seen that investment from FSG like breaking their neck. And I think what fans have to unfortunately accept is that a lot of these owners don't want to. They don't want to, and when you own a football club, it's for them a business thing, but for us it's a passion, it's a lifelong love. So you don't want the owner of your club to simply be a businessman who's ensuring that he's making his profit every single year. You want it to be somebody who's passionate about your team and will go into their own pocket if you need to spend the 50 million extra just to get that player who's the difference between you guys coming 4th and maybe coming 2nd, but being that bit closer. So I think where we keep saying Spurs aren't doing it's because they don't want to, simply.
And that's the problem, and I just can't understand why, right? Because nobody is even asking you to dip into your own pocket, right? You against better judgment from some fans, not me, we moved into this new stadium. We were promised this, that, and the third. We're going to be competitive. We're going to do X, Y, Z. I struggle to think of any logical Spurs fan that I speak to that demands that Tottenham win silverware every season. But what we want is we want to see a concerted effort to actually build and then maintain some level of competitiveness in our squad. Like, if I look at Tottenham now, nobody's asking Daniel Levy to go pluck out $1 billion from your own money. The club are making so much money. We're one of the most successful clubs at making money in world football, right? When you look at our percentage of wages, when you look at our wages as a percentage of our turnover, we're like 3rd or 2nd lowest in the league. We're meant to be a big 16. We're like 3rd or 2nd lowest in the league. So us saying you adding an extra couple of million to that to give a player maybe 180k a week instead of 120k a week, it's not going to break your back. It's not going to put us in the red. It's not going to leave us bankrupt. It's not going to do any of these things. The club are already spending money anyway. We're literally saying just spend a tiny bit more of money that you actually have to make Spurs better and be proactive. Every single time, it's always reactive. Why did we have to wait until January last year when two of our centre backs were injured for you to recognise that you can't go into a season, any single season, with 2 senior centre backs for the manager to use? Why did we have to go into this season and have this mad injury crisis to understand that you can't rely on a 38-year-old goalkeeper that already showed you his ass last year, that you can't rely on Werner, that you can't rely on the fact that a left back who just came back from a 3-month layoff as a result of fatigue, exertion, hamstrings, cooked, and you're putting him through the rigors of the same patterns again because you didn't bring in another left back or left-sided defender. Why is it always Tottenham that have to learn these lessons the hard way to then rectify? And then your method of rectifying, it's not even a solution. It's not even a solution. I will tell you this for free. We're not going to go out and sign 3 players in January that will give us the relief that we're after. Right? Last year, they brought in Werner as the solution to our attacking woes. And then they retained him in the summer. What kind of sensible club does this? What kind of sensible club brings in 4 kids, Yang, Bergvall, Archie Gray, Odebear, all talented players. No problems with these players. I think they could all have good futures at Tottenham. But there's no way on earth I'm going to expect all 4 of these players to come in and give us the push that we need in comparison to last season to get to where we want to be. They're not enough. They're not enough. And a blind man could see it, but these men can't see it. Who is making the decisions at this club? Because it's just pure and utter incompetence. And yet, whenever I speak on Daniel Levy, we've seen these decisions with Nuno at the helm, with Jose at the helm, with Conte at the helm, with Mourinho at the helm, with Pochettino at the helm. We've seen these decisions year in, year out. So who else are we going to look to? Everyone tells me, oh, why do you speak on Daniel Levy? Because he is top-down management.
He's a common denominator.
It's the common. He literally sets the culture and ethos of the club. The club are a reflection of their chairman. They're risk-averse, they're reactive, and they're incompetent. Right? Great businessman. But when it comes to delivering on the football pitch, and when I say delivering, I don't mean no effing trophy season. I mean just having a good squad. Just give us a good squad to actually go into the season with. So then when we're looking at our manager now, who looks 100% incompetent, we can wholeheartedly say, yes, you are the one that's failing. Now, in this situation, I do think Ange Postecoglou absolutely is failing. But to the point you made earlier on about your friend, on his view, he is so entitled. Sorry, he's more than entitled to have that opinion because he's seen it time and time and time again. So it's actually got to the point where some fans are actually saying, how do we even know that this guy's so bad? Because he's been dealt the same bad hand that Jose did, that Nuno did, that Conte did. Maybe Conte less so than others, because I think he was given some players that he wanted. But you get the point I'm making here. It is a really poorly run club when it comes to matters on the football pitch. Off the football pitch, they're great. Making money, fantastic. But when it comes to building and maintaining a competitive squad, they are useless. And it's the reason why they let down Pochettino 5 years ago. Poch was saying this shit 5 years ago. How can you finish second? How can you finish second or third, go from 5th to 3rd, and your reward for that is Musa Sissoko, Nkudu, Vince, some random striker from the Dutch league, and Wanyama. That's one starter out of 4 players. That's insane. And he finished second that season. And you still didn't even give him the players that he needed for the season ahead.
Yeah,
I swear you signed no players.
Exactly.
After he came second.
The season when we made the Champions League final, everyone wants to talk about how poor our run was in the league. Of course it's poor. The team is degrading. Alderweireld on the decline. Vertonghen on the decline. Danny Rose on the decline. Kieran Trippier was never good enough to be a starter, right? Dembele on the decline. They didn't refresh the team. A simple Jack Grealish that we wanted that cost that would have cost us 30 million that same summer, right? I didn't even want Jack Grealish. I wanted James Maddison that summer, but fine. They wanted Jack Grealish. That's your number one target. He would have cost you 30 million before Aston Villa they were taking over, right? We haggled, giving them these paltry, derisory bids, and then eventually they said, you know what, F this, we're not negotiating with you. They turfed us. We didn't get Jack Grealish, and we didn't sign a player for 18 months. But then people are surprised when the results are taking a turn for the worse, when we're losing games week in, week out. It's embarrassing. Who runs a football club like this? Who actually runs a football club like this? It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. And anyone who actually defends this ownership, you need a hard slap in your face because they are the shittest owners in the Premier League. They are shit. They are.
Whoa, easy there, brother.
No,
Easy there,
no,
brother.
it's the truth.
I don't know if they're the worst, my guy.
No. I've had enough. That's why anyone who wants to come at me with this ownership, I will blam you into the dirt because I'm sick and tired of hearing it. I will cook you to dust. I will
crazy.
to dust. I'm sick.
I do think though, besides the ownership here, let's not forget that Ange is.
Yeah, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk.
No, I said succinct, man. That is
no. Let's talk.
The opposite of succinct.
I'll be
save him for the awards, Tobs. Save him for the awards.
Two lines. He is so incompetent at his job right now, and he has this weird thing where he can see the change that's needed that can actually give the team the better chance of getting a result, and he won't do it. So, like today, as an example, he kept bodies back to defend against Wolves, but you didn't do this against Chelsea. You didn't do this against Liverpool. What? He's just everything I said about Daniel Levy is true, but I don't want Ange to be the beneficiary of a successful owner because you haven't earned it. You've been terrible all calendar year results-wise. He's not good enough, and he needs to be changed.
Fair enough. Bermuda Triangle continues. All right, let's go on to some of the teams who haven't played this weekend, but will be playing in the coming days. We'll naturally start with you, Koogs. I don't think you guys are playing again until Wednesday. Are you away at Brentford? Obviously, you won in the midweek. Who did you play?
Ipswich at home, 1-0.
Ipswich 1-0 against Ipswich. So how was that performance? And obviously to talk about the main man being out for a good few months. I did say to German 2 months, got sassy. Here we are.
I think it's looking closer to at least 3 months, to be honest. Maybe end of Feb or something like that. So we're fingers crossed, man. I think the reaction to the injury online from rival fans has definitely been interesting.
Please do not try and take any sort of high road here.
No. It's I'm definitely not taking any high roads because bro, like I said to you, when I saw Rodri hold his knee, I did the sign of the cross and looked up. That was me. Because So I'm not saying that. It's just the weirdness where people are like, oh, his career's definitely over. Do you know what I mean? He's not gonna come back the same, this, that, and the other. I'm just like, let's just chill out a little bit here because I don't think that's necessarily the case. But I think it's a massive blow for us to take because for me, he's our best player. I've always maintained that. I think Odegaard has a claim to it, but for me, I think Saka basically is Arsenal. I think he's the one that's got the real superstar quality in that front line. So without him, I really do struggle to see, how we're gonna, be a real attacking force. And I think that's now up to the manager to come up with some solutions because I think the attack is an area that has been neglected for a number of windows personally. And, I think the top teams, it's very funny. I know people look at, Mo Salah as obviously they're playing the same position as inspiration and look at, Liverpool and how they've built their attack. But and say, Liverpool are really reliant on Salah. What's the problem with us being reliant on Saka? And then I'll turn around and say, Liverpool are not the team that have been winning the titles every year, kind of thing. I think Pep Guardiola has won 6 of the last 7 league titles. That is the project. That's the team that you should be really looking to emulate. And in 4 of those 6 league titles, I would say, Pep has had a real good spread of attacking talent where, I think the past couple of seasons when you've had Haaland is the one time where they've actually been kind of reliant on one guy to kind of get them goals. And even last season, you still had Phil Foden, who was there really shooting teams to the top. The 1 year Liverpool did win it, Salah and Mane were there bagging together, 2 real top quality real top quality players. And so I look at this and say, in every single season Pep Guardiola has been there, he signed an attacker. The 1 year he didn't sign an attacker was when Liverpool won the league. You know what I mean? And so I look at this and say, we've signed what, 2 attackers in 5 years, right? 3 if you want to include Marquinhos Patel, you know, who's come from Sao Paulo via Bangladesh. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying you're neglecting that area of the pitch. And actually, when people say, "Oh, Arsenal complaining about injuries, this, that, and the other," I actually think we've coped quite well with injuries because we've had a lot of depth in the defensive positions. That, you know, you can lose 2 right backs, 2 left backs, a centre back. You're still able to come out with, you know, results on the pitch. You know, it's not like we've lost 7-8 games this season because we've had injuries. You know, not like we've conceded a bag of goals because we've been missing defenders. When actually, if you sign loads of it, like attackers, good attackers, you can take Saka off here and there. You can rotate those players like Pep used to do with Sterling, with Foden, with Sane, with all of these guys that would take turns playing. There was a time where you didn't actually know which Man City players to put in your fantasy team because you didn't know which of them was gonna play for the next 3 games. Do you get what I'm saying? And so we're now in a situation that I think has been created by the manager because you've been over reliant on one player to really sustain your attacks and sustain your you know, your ability to, you know, really threaten teams. And, you know, we are where we are. I think if you now want to talk about the Ipswich game, this was the first time where I think, you know, we're missing Saka and we know it's not going to be for a short period. Like Saka can maybe miss 1 game here and there. And it's like, whatever, we're not really reading too much into this because we know he's going to be back in a couple of games. And, you know, I think mentality wise, that kind of frees you in the pitch that, you know, a player like Martinelli, if he's playing on the right, he knows I'm just playing here, you know, for this game. You know, I can just do what I want because it doesn't really matter. Saka's going to come here. I'm going to go back to my position, right? And I think the pressure really showed to the attackers with how they look to execute because they really need this to work, right? Whereas the actual way that we played in the game, I thought was pretty good. Very, very dominant against Ipswich. You know, progressed the ball, you know, really, really quite well. Counter pressed them really, really quite well. They couldn't get out of their, you know, third. Didn't really cause us any issues at the back. But when it came to that final action, yeah, it wasn't really there. And I think that's been the case for a lot of these players all season. And so, yeah, I've got my issues with, you know, the manager, how he's potentially built this squad in the last window, especially. And I don't think that we've kind of attacked this season in the way that I would expect us to, given how last season ended, personally.
Fair. So what's plan B? What is plan B now with no Saka, man? I tell her take that plan B and stop playing, man.
Got to sign someone, bro. I like that reference though. They need an attacker. No attacker, no attacker, no trophy. Or no Premier League trophy. It's that simple for me. Them man aren't gonna. I know, Dan, we were discussing in the chat, and you're saying, okay, let's see what they can do with internal solutions. But let's be serious, man. Trossard ain't gonna be the guy to get you over the line week in, week out. Neither is Martinelli. Neither is Kai Havertz. They need another attacker. They absolutely need another attacker to even stand a chance.
Yeah, I think that's right, you know. And to be honest, like when I was saying like, you know, let's see what happens, is because I think teams can lose players and you just scrape through, like someone else steps up. I think, you know, to Mike's point, last season Salah went down, and Liverpool were top of the league by the time he came back. You know, I think they had a big injury crisis where Trent went down, Salah went down, you know, Conor Bradley stepped up, someone else stepped up. But I think for that to be the case, you need to be, you know, really in your flow, right? That everyone feels confident, you know, everyone is shooting on sight. Like that League Cup final, you know, they brought on I don't even know, Jaden Dans and all of these men just came on. They were hooping. Confidence was high, you know, and they won that League Cup final with just anyone playing because they were flying. I think the way that we are playing right now, confidence isn't that way, right? Where someone can't just come in and just shoot on sight and you know, just bag 2-3 goals in the next few months. Someone needs to come in and be confident. And I think actually for that spark to come, it probably is going to need to be a signing. And I think it reminds me of, I think Rilwan said this, that we need the Arshavin type signing where it's just a maverick that comes. They do their own thing, and they really just raise the levels, right? And I think for me, I've picked out who I think that would do that for us is Mohamed Kudus, right? I know he's got a release clause in the summer. I don't think it's valid in January. He's had some issues with the manager. I don't think it's that realistic, but if it was me with the purse strings, I'll say go bid the 85 million and say to West Ham, look, just give us this guy. You know,
where would you play him?
I play him in Saka's position. I play him on the right.
Then what happens when Saka comes back?
Then he can play off the left. For me.
I don't think he's that good off the left, but I would actually look to try and play him centrally. You know, when Saka comes back, I do think they need someone like that though. They need listen. People look at his because Kudus has a tendency in some games where it's weird, where his technical execution is off, but he's someone who you can look at in a better setup, right, where you have better defensive stability, where you know you're going to get ample touches of the ball. He's going to do something better with the ball than the likes of a Trossard, than the likes of a Martinelli. You imagine him getting as many touches as those players are getting in zones of danger. He will be way more influential for Arsenal than those players. So,
if I'm got Stardust as well. For me, he's got Stardust.
Yeah, I was just going to say the reason
X factor for sure.
He takes shots mad. He takes shots. The key thing Arsenal like is players who take shots sometimes, like just like going for it. The Arsenal like that.
Yeah, I think that's 100%. And the reason why I picked Kudus in particular is that he doesn't need anyone else to get his game off. Do you know what I mean? Like you play it into him, whether he's wide, whether he's central, he's dribbling past man and he's letting the thing go. Do you know what I mean? And I think what we're really lacking in our attack is people who actually, to Mike's point, just shoot, right? Like I think if you get Saka in the box, he'll shoot. I think Martinelli of old, he would probably shoot, but his shot numbers are way down this season, way down last season as well. Trossard not really taking shots. Havertz, let's not start with that one there. Gabriel Jesus again, you know. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, I look at these teams like Liverpool. How many shots was it today? 22. I think it was 19 shots against Leicester. This, that, and the other. We had 13 shots against Ipswich at home, and that was a team where we had them completely camped in. Right, completely camped in. They couldn't get out their half, and we're still only having 13 shots. So I'm looking at this and just saying we just need someone who will pepper the goal. And Kudus, to his credit, is one of those guys. And it doesn't even need to be a proper chance, half chance. He's striking it, and you know I think he hit the post twice today, right, against Liverpool, just basically out of nothing. Do you know what I mean? Just basically out of nothing. So I think in a team that is so dominant, and this is the issue that I have with, you know, when I mentioned us faltering, when Liverpool faltered, it's because I was expecting us to go on a run during that period. And against Fulham and against Everton, like the Ipswich match, we're so dominant there. We're keeping them in their half. They're not creating anything, and yet we're leaving there wondering, like, how did we leave here without scoring a winner? This, that, and the other, because. Bro, we've got strikers there who aren't taking shots.
Yeah, I think you couldn't have really put it any more clearer there, Koogs. I think we'll see. I think Kudus is a stretch for Jam because they probably don't want to sell him because without him, they're probably in a relegation battle. So to him, he's worth 85 million plus. So that probably is a summer deal. It's going to be tough. January is always a tough market because I think regardless of where another team is, they have whatever their season's goals are. And if you want a player from that team, best believe he's probably playing well. So how do they replace that player in their plans, right? So it's never the best market. And over the years,
I'm seeing some rumors about Rashford here. And
how does that make you feel?
I'm not gonna lie. I'll be signed up. I'll just be fully signed up for the season. Yeah.
Do you not believe that there's a player in there? You don't believe that in the right environment, Arteta gets him back in the mood?
No, I don't. Yeah.
Fair enough. Mike, you said you had a question for Koogs. Yeah. What
I do. It's curious for me because I think going into the season, Liverpool had made any signings. We signed Chiesa. And if let's go back to the start of the summer. Start of the summer, this was a time for Arsenal to kick into gear. They've had 2 seasons. They finished second back to back, and you're thinking it's gonna happen one day. It's gonna happen one day. One day, Dan Koogs, as an adult, is gonna see Arsenal Football Club win the league. That's what I thought was gonna happen. Honestly, you asked the cop.
What's the question?
Let me get there. Let me add some context, add some juice to the story. Listen, I'm sweating in this. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to sign Isak. Oh my gosh. They end up with Raheem Sterling, Calafiori, good player, by the way, and Mickey Marino.
Does anybody call him Mickey?
He took it off me. He took it off me. No. Mike, you cannot use my slander names and then try and remix it as yours when trying to direct to me. Yeah, look, listeners.
Listen, let me get to the question,
my
brother.
Slander. Yeah,
I'll take it. Mickey Marino will get your name. You can take it. It's a good one. On to the question, I think, for you, Dan. Is it a real damning indictment on Arteta that this season, Arsenal have had the chance to capitalise on Man City having a season beyond anyone's dreams, right? So bad. And you're probably going to end the season, potentially going to end the season, yet again without the league title in your hands. How does that reflect on the project?
I think it is an indictment, to be honest. That's my personal stance, because ultimately, and I don't know the inner workings, this, that, and the other, right? When we exited the Champions League, Mikel Arteta talked about, we lack X factor, this, that, and the other, yeah. And I don't necessarily disagree. I think there's things he could look at internally as to how we went out against Bayern. I think it's the same points that I've just mentioned here, that we kind of went out with a whimper. We're 1-0 down in the Champions League. Are we putting them under enough pressure? Are we really creating chances in that match? No, I don't think we were. I don't think that's an X factor problem. I think that's just what your approach to the game is in a pressure situation. So that's number one. I'll look at the manager for that. But on top of that, I just think you're strongest where you invest, right? We are strongest in defense again. Despite how we started the season, we've got the best defense in the league yet again. But that's where you spend all your money, right? So I look at this and I say, if you come into that summer, and what are the priority positions? 2 of them were in the attack: striker, left wing, left centre mid, and probably left back as well. Yeah. So I said, yeah, fine. I look at Calafiori. It doesn't matter. You're signing him first. Like, you just get deals done. Yeah. You then get linked to Marino. Cool. It doesn't matter. You signing him first. You get deals done in the order that they need. But then when I'm seeing, and the funniest thing is that we asked in a TG chat, is anyone taking Raheem Sterling in like the end of June? It was a unanimous no. Yeah. Because we're just like, what we doing here? Right. And then on deadline day, when we're seeing the links, we're like, oh, is anyone going to take him? It's just like that. It slowly became, yeah, fine. We need a body. He might not be that bad, this, that, and the other. And it's just so annoying that we're in that situation where you're looking for the attacker on deadline day when actually we should be grabbing 2 in the first place, right? So now you're going into that season hoping that Martinelli can rediscover his form, hoping that Gabriel Jesus can rediscover his form, hoping that Kai Havertz can maintain the form that he showed towards the end of the year, and hoping that Bukayo Saka doesn't go down to an injury from being overplayed. And you can add Martin Odegaard to that as well, because he's someone who plays every minute of every game. And I look at that and I say, a serious team doesn't leave 3 of their main 5 attackers in hopeful positions. You have something banked there, that guys that you can trust to reliably provide you with output, reliably win you games. And we didn't do that. So, I do think it's an indictment. I don't know if it's the board. I don't know if it's Arteta and Edu. I don't know who to direct it at. But to me, the previous years looked like we were a team serious in the transfer market. We're going out, we're getting our targets. If we don't get target A, we're going to move to target B, and we're going to keep things stepping, right? This summer, we didn't do that. We tried to bid for Benjamin Sesko. Looked like that one didn't happen, and then all of a sudden that's the only now striker in Europe? Is that the only player who can add something to this team? You know, Nico Williams is saying you want Nico Williams. He's at the Euros. Fine, we'll wait till the Euros ends. Okay, he wants to go to Barcelona. Is that the only winger in Europe who can add something to this team? It's very bad, right? When you wanted Mudryk, he didn't come. You pivoted, you got Trossard. You wanted Caicedo, you pivoted, you got Jorginho. You wanted Vlahovic, you pivoted, you got Gabriel Jesus, this, that, and the other, right? And it's like, fine, I don't want to miss out on these guys. But all of these, man, I don't want to miss out on my first choice target. Fine, I've missed out on too many first choice targets, but you've got other first choice targets as well. No team in world football gets all of their first choice targets unless you're Real Madrid. Do you get what I'm saying? And so all this talk, Gabriel that we signed at centre back, he was a first choice. You know, Calafiori, he was a first choice. Jurrien Timber, he was a first choice. Declan Rice, he was a first choice. Right? So don't tell me that I only need to get my first choice signings. You've got plenty of first choice signings. Pivot and move and bring someone in that isn't Raheem Sterling on loan. Do you know what I mean? It's just unserious. So, you know, I have to look at how the season is going. And to be fair, I've been very negative. I'm actually not throwing in the towel. I'm not throwing in the towel.
Why did you start laughing? Why did you just start laughing?
I'm not throwing in the towel because I'm not throwing in the towel because I still do want to see how the games go. I just think it's very unlikely now that we're gonna do anything in the league. But ultimately, if we don't do anything in the league, I think it's very predictable and it's self-inflicted as far as I'm concerned. You know, I don't think they can look anywhere else.
Job be at risk?
I don't think it should be at risk, but because I know it's not going to be at risk. He just signed a new contract, right? But I'm definitely questioning the amount of power that he has if these things are as a result of his decisions. I'm not quite sure that they are yet. I personally question the competence of Edu, and I have always questioned that since he's been the director of football. So I don't know where I can place blame, but yeah, if he's culpable for some of this stuff behind the scenes, then he has to buck up his act.
Well, fair enough, man. Let's
so what you're saying, Dan, is this is not what it looks like.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That brings me so much joy, brother. So much.
Hey, just make sure you're not crying at the end of the season again, Mike. Yeah, don't worry, man.
I'll be laughing. This has been the crescendo of well, not yet, but since Koogs, I was saying before you joined the call, since Koogs said he didn't see Liverpool as title challengers last season, you've been on to him ever since.
Oh my gosh,
brother, over a year ago.
Full press. I remember that day in September when you tweeted that thing.
You crashed
that
out.
Was the bro. Listen, I remember I was Morayo.
Man.
I said on the pod tomorrow, ask me a question that I can build into a rant. I told him from the minute I saw that tweet, I said, "You're my number one op. You're my number one op." So seeing you so mudded and relying on copium to survive, it means more. It means more, bro. I prayed for this.
Rent free.
Bro, I prayed for this and it happened, brother.
You see this, Mike? Yeah. You ever watch Mad Men? Yeah. You ever watch Mad Men when the guy's like, "Oh, you ruined my life, this, that, and the other" in the lift, and the guy's like, "Oh,
I don't even know who you are.
I don't even know who you are, bro."
Yeah,
Mike,
bro, you know who I am.
Man. Don't worry, bro. Don't worry.
You know who I am, brother.
Don't worry. Don't worry about me. You know, I'm cool.
For this.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you guys. I'll close to talk about Manchester United. We'll keep it short and sweet. 1 win in our last 5 games.
Yeah,
it's against City. We've got Newcastle tomorrow. Ugarte's out. Bruno's out.
Why is Ugarte out?
I think he got a book. Actually, no, he's not. Bruno's out. Ugarte got subbed. He got subbed.
Advantage United then.
The issue with Bruno, as poor as he is, where's the creativity?
Exactly. I was just about to say. You might as well play Casemiro.
He's Mason Mount.
No, he's out till April, wasn't he?
He got injured. What? Yeah, he got injured.
Out till April.
Something like that. Yeah, he got injured again. I think he started against City and was injured after 13 minutes.
Oh my god.
The playing squad is the playing squad. So if we have to get something in Jan, man, it's just it's dire. The Rashford situation continues. So him playing paddle boards over over the weekend, I think. So he's not going to be rejoining the team. Hoyland looks poor. Xerxes full of Lebo grill. It's just not good. It's just not good. And I understand the manager's come in and he wants to play a particular way and he's not going to compromise. And it means that when he does get the reinforcements that he needs, that the team will be further along. But most of these players ain't going to be here. They are not going to be here. And the performances week in, week out, the mistakes players are making, the inability to execute what we would consider just basic functional footballing actions, it's crazy. So I can't even tell. When does it end? I couldn't even tell you. We've got Newcastle at home tomorrow. Then we're away at Liverpool. Then we've got Southampton at home, Brighton at home. We're away at Fulham, Crystal Palace, and then we're away at Spurs. That takes us to the middle of Feb, and we probably win the game against. Like, if I was being confident, the game against Southampton of all of those is the only one I'd turn around and say with confidence right now that I expect us to win that.
Yeah, I was looking at your run and I was looking at our run, and I genuinely worry that both teams might lose like 4 straight for like the next 2 weeks.
It's crazy. And then we've got Arsenal in the FA Cup before Southampton, so we're losing our next 3 games. Newcastle,
Right.
Liverpool, Arsenal. All else.
Can I ask a question? Yeah. So, like, obviously, people, you see Saeed and stuff like that going mad at Ineos, and fans on Twitter and stuff going mad at Amorim already. Yeah. And it's like, from my perspective, I'm always like, if this guy's got his style of play and game plan, he should try and implement that at all costs, basically, so that you're not starting next season from scratch, etc. But is there a limit as to how many games you can do that for if you just keep losing and losing and losing?
Of course, because we are still in a season with objectives, and you still need to accumulate a certain amount of points, and there are financial ramifications based on how high you finish up a table. So we can't just keep losing in pursuit of helping integrate this system into the players that we have, and they're making it harder and harder for him to stick to his guns. And the worst thing you could do, because he's obviously a man of principle, is have to come around and turn around and be like, actually, just so we could get some results, I'm going to switch the formation, because all the kind of respect he would have earned from, like, he says what he does, you ask him questions, he's able to articulate himself really clearly, goes out of the window. I'm sure if I was him, I'd be already wrestling with that. Like, we can't just keep losing, because morale is just going to plummet and people are going to ask you questions, right? What can I do to stop the tide? Your on paper most talented player is ostracized. You're trying to get him out of the club. Your best player and captain is not particularly good. The 70 million and 40 million strikers that you spent your money on aren't particularly good. You're relying on Ahmad, who's this is his first season really starting consistently in the Premier League. There's just no light at the end of the tunnel anywhere. I don't see it. Like, the quality is not there. It's crazy.
This is the thing, yeah. It's like you're actually, like, you're 14th, yeah. This is 14th, whatever. But it's like, if you lose, then if you say you lose your next 3 games, right? Like, you could be like 16th, 17th. You know what I'm saying? Right, which is just insane.
Man. It's quite literally, you can't just keep losing. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, you can just keep losing, and we'll just wait till next season and we'll get you some players, and he has to put points on the board. But between Newcastle, between Liverpool, and then Arsenal in the FA Cup, I don't see which one of those games we win until we play.
Where are you in
we have that
Europa League?
We're like 8th. So in the top 8, so it's got the.
Are you above us now? Jeez.
I believe so. Yeah.
So maybe he can say,
we're
like,
7th
look,
even. We're 7th even. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he can say, like, look, in the league, we might just have to.
The league is your bread and butter, bro.
That's insane.
Yeah, but if you say, for instance, you win the Europa, right, and come like 16th.
That's what. No, Dan, stop this rubbish now, because this is what Spurs fans are trying to do. I think we should just abandon the league and put. shut your big ass up about abandoning the league. You think I want to be going to every single Premier League game and seeing us lose?
Yo, I'm tired. Man said right off the league.
I'm focused on a cup knockout competition. That's insane. If he went to the board and said that, I'd expect him to escort him out of the building. Let's go to your office quick. I want to see something. Here's his box. Put your stuff in it quickly. Why, bro? Oh, we're moving you to another office. Come. This is the front door. Where's your badge? We'll be taking that. Good luck and have a good life. So
I do think though, Amorim needs to, and it's a shame because it's like your attackers are so bad, but he needs to try and free the shackles a little bit. Like I feel like he's tried to keep you defensively resolute, but I do think play some more attackers in the wing back positions. Like play some more attackers in wing back positions. I think put someone who's actually going to beat. Who are actually going to do offensive things with a football.
The last thing is you say it because you know they have no quality. Like
that's what I'm saying. Is who
could play wing back?
Obviously, we are. I think somebody said it last week was like we need Diallo in the front three, but we also need him at wing back. Like he was really good at wing back, and Anthony in his cameos has actually done quite well at wing back.
Play him at wing back then. Play him left wing back.
Man clearly doesn't fancy him.
But he has to play it because it's not working. You're not able, like, what? Honestly, I don't know how you Man United fans do it and I'm saying this as a Spurs fan, but like watching Højlund, dearie me, man, it's bruv. Watching Højlund and your twin tens behind him when it's not Ahmad, it's painful, bro. And then it even looks like Dumber and Dumber when they bring on Xerxes, and it's like Xerxes is the twin, Xerxes is the 10, Højlund's still up top. It just looks, it's disgusting, man. It's absolutely disgusting. But just play. I would actually, if I'm him, play Ahmad wing back, play Anthony wing back. See how that works against Newcastle. Try it.
Who do you have in your front three?
You have to stick with Højlund. Yes. And then you play Xerxes, and then unfortunately, you have to play Garnacho. You have to.
You're not gonna,
I'm not saying Casemiro fit. Is Casemiro fit?
Yeah, Casemiro.
Play Casemiro in the twin 10. He will score. Casemiro is better on the ball than Garnacho, and he's more of a goal threat than Xerxes. Play him. Play him as a twin 10.
Why not try Mainu there?
I don't know, man. We could do, but I think he fancied him more as a central midfielder. So we'll see, man. I think he's just trying to do the best with what he's got, and he's trying to learn these players at the same time. And the individual errors on top of that, like just the individual errors of the part that, like, you're not good to start with. Now you're making unforced, unprovoked errors, which makes your lives even. And it's never like at the halfway line or like in their part of the pitch. It's in our box or right in front of our goal or something which gives somebody it's poor. I don't know what he's gonna do, but this is what he signed up for, and this is what you're paid the big bucks for, and this is hopefully a period that a year from now we can look back on. But boy, he needs to get some wins. Simple as that. He needs to get some wins on the board. Simple. I don't know where they're coming from. Southampton game in the league is not until the 16th of January. So that would mean that our win. That would mean that our win before that, our last one before that, would have been the 15th of December. So a month between wins.
Boy,
yeah,
we've got you. I'm going to be watching you as well as us very closely over the next 2 weeks because we've basically got similar fixtures because we play Arsenal at the Emirates, we play Newcastle at home, and then we also play Liverpool. As well.
The irritating twins. We irritated.
No. It's the triplets because you got West Ham in there as well. We're tracking at the same form as West Ham. The terrible.
Oh man, that's insane, bro.
Crazy.
Okay. Cool. Let's talk Chelsea. We haven't got a Chelsea panelist on the pod this week, but they had an opportunity to really put some pressure on Liverpool, and they unfortunately haven't been able to capitalize on that. I think you kind of touched on it earlier, Mike, in regards to the youth of the team, but you've got a 0-0 draw away at Everton and then a 2-1 loss where Fulham have come from behind. What have we learned about Chelsea in the last week? Is it just a blip and it's a natural part of a season, or they just aren't necessarily there this season, and however high they're able to finish, take that, and then they go again?
Yeah, I think it's that really. I think they're obviously a talented side, and I think I would have said 2 weeks ago, up until our last 2 away games, we scored 5 and then 6 goals, that they looked the most fluent team from an attacking point of view in the league. Cole Palmer was looking really good. Jackson's been scoring goals, but I think recently Fulham are a really good side, and I expected Fulham to take points off them, because I think Fulham, when we played them, I was really impressed. I think they were really impressed. They've been impressive in a lot of the big games they played this season. They've been competitive. And I think with Chelsea, where they are in their cycle is, they're clearly a good side, but they need a few more tweaks and a few more adjustments to probably bridge the gap between them and the teams that are like competing for like the major runners in Europe, like Champions League, like the league title. So a talented side, a youthful side. I think defensively, there's still question marks for me, and it's something that Tobs and Koogs will be aware. We've been discussing this with Jay for a while, and he's kind of convinced that the defense is not as big an issue as others are making out. We think that it is something that is a slight issue for them and could hold them back. And I think that, I actually think Colwell's been okay this season. He's made a few big mistakes, but he's been okay this season. But I still don't look at my defense as a unit and think that's a title-winning defense. So perhaps some quality adjustments made in defense would help the team. But I actually think for Chelsea, they've done really well this season. And to even be in a mix for the title, or even be in a conversation for the title, it's not something that anyone really predicted. I think people maybe thought top 4 was their ceiling, and maybe that would be it. But to be in the conversation, to be in the mix, is a good thing. But I just don't think that they have enough at this current moment in time to compete and to push for the title, which is fine because no one expected it.
Yeah, I don't think they're in. So I'm not surprised that they're dropping points at home to Fulham. Fulham are one of the better sides in the league, and also Chelsea.
You're not surprised, did you say?
Yeah, I'm not surprised they're dropping points at home to Fulham, because Fulham are one of the better sides in the league, and Chelsea have been one of the best sides in the league, but they're not this. They're not. They don't have this air of inevitability or invincibility about them, and I think that's okay. Well, it depends on how you look at it. I don't think it's okay when you look at the money they spent, but I think it's okay when you actually look at the crop of players that they have. Like, they have a talented squad, but they don't have, right now, in my opinion, a title-winning XI and a title-winning squad. And I think that's fine, man. Listen, I rip Chelsea all the time, but like, them losing to Fulham, it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. Like, it's frustrating for them, but it's not the end of the world. And with some of the players that they have at the back, with some of the decisions that the manager's taken as well, because I didn't get to watch that game in full, but I think that game and their previous game, we saw that the manager he just had this weird refusal to actually utilize options off the bench. Stuff like that frustrates me. I see it firsthand with Ange Postecoglou. I hate it when managers have tools at their disposal that can change the outcome of a football game, and they refuse to do it. And I think it's obviously come back to bite him. But in the end of the day, like, them losing to Fulham, it's not that big a deal. As long as they are cognizant of the fact that they're not actually going to win the title this season, then it's not that big a deal. Like, they're not. I don't consider them as someone who are, as a team, that are actually going to be serious title challengers. But
so everything's a bonus, really. Just enjoy the journey. It's the friends we made along the way.
For now, yeah. They're just not there yet for me. But that's not to say that they couldn't have had a different outcome in the game had their manager had utilized their squad better. Because I think he should have. You spent all this money on that amount of talent. Use them.
Yeah.
I think he clearly doesn't trust all of them, though, right? Like,
again, I think
that's what.
Yeah.
Go on.
Now go on.
I was just going to say, I think it just comes down to how much do you trust them. Because someone like João Felix, that didn't seem like a player that he wanted in the summer, right? That seemed like an opportunistic one where, they needed. I think he wanted Samu Omarodion, right, from Atletico. He refused to join. So then they used Felix as well. That's not. They're two completely different profiles of players. So, he likes using Jackson, maybe doesn't really, vibe with Felix that much, doesn't really know how to utilize him that much, especially if you have someone like Cole Palmer, who's already on the pitch, maybe doesn't want Felix and Palmer playing together defensively, this, that, and the other. I don't know. That's just me speculating. And then, some of the other players, use them. You're using them in the Conference League, but how much does he trust them to come in and do a job for him in the Prem? Clearly, not that much, right? So,
I think it's mad as well that Nkunku, he was like one of the hottest names in Europe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and now he's literally like he's a Thursday night option for Chelsea. It's mad, and he's a Thursday night option. Not even
I think he should use him more often.
He is a good player. They use him as a striker, bro, and it's just like
he's a new Thursday night Neymar. To that title from Memphis to Prime, man.
Very mad. It's very, very mad.
Yeah. They do definitely have a lot of talent, but I think Koogs' point is correct in terms of the manager. And I think sometimes I'll say it again, as fans, we kind of like project what we want the clubs and the managers, the teams to do, and like frustrate ourselves when we're not like, this is so obvious. Why are you not doing this thing? They're not doing it because they don't want to. It's that simple.
Yeah, but then there's a balance to be struck there, because it's like, if you want to win the game of football, like, why not try it?
Yeah, but the things he's doing are the things that he thinks will win them the game of football. He's not trying not to win it.
I heard Jadon Sancho did niche. Why not try?
I'm well versed in the Jadon Sancho experience. You don't have to tell me twice, brother.
Yeah,
they gave me a couple of passes into the penalty box to say, hey, he's back. All right, man. All right, cool. Anyway, we'll keep it moving. We're at the halfway stage of the season, so almost like a snapshot in time. Let's do a little bit of a halfway through the season review, give out some awards. This first one should be straightforward, but let's just see what the panel says. At this point, player of the season so far? I'll start with you, Mike.
It has to be Mo Salah.
Tobs?
Yeah, Mo Salah.
Koogs.
Mo Salah, yeah.
Next one, manager of the season so far. So I'll stay with you, Koogs.
Manager of the season, I'll probably give it to Slot. I think you have to. 48 points out of 18 games, 19 games. Yeah, you have to. Credit where it's due.
Yeah. Tobes, who's your manager of the season so far?
No, I'm actually gonna go left field with this one. I'm gonna give it to Nuno Espirito Santo. Bruh, I didn't expect them to be even in the top 10, let alone top 10.
Yeah. Mike.
I'm going to go Slot, but I do think Nuno deserves a shout out, because if you told me Forrest will be second in December, I would have said, what are you talking about? So, yeah, hats off to him. He's doing a good job.
Yeah, fair. Okay, so this one's going to need a little bit of collaboration. I know you guys' favourite thing to do. We want to have our halfway through the season, team of the season so far. So, let's start with the formation. Where do we want to go?
Let's go 4-3-3. We're classy men here.
Fine.
Cool. All right. Who are we putting in goal?
There haven't been many standouts. I'll probably stick Raya in there.
David Raya.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of any other standouts, to be honest. Martinez, maybe? No.
I think how's Pickford performed this season? I feel like whenever I catch Everton, he's actually doing quite well.
I think it's the last 4 or 5 weeks, though. It's recent. It's very recently.
I'm not putting Pickford in no team of the season, man.
I'm trying to do everything in my power not to put Raya in. I'm just struggling with this.
Give him something. Give him something.
You know what? Yeah. Give it Raya. Why not?
Okay. Who have we got at right back?
Gusto? I'm joking. That's you, Jay.
What guys do you have come to mind?
Timber comes to mind. I think Timber's been really good.
I do like Timber for the right back. Oliver mentioned, I think Ola Aina has been very good.
Ola Aina, yeah, actually, Ola Aina.
I was going to say him. I was going to say you got Timber, Aina, Mazraoui.
Aina, yeah. I've been traveling too much, man. Aina, he's a Nigerian as well, man.
You not shut
up.
Shut up.
When you say shout, that means you got.
I got nothing to say. I got nothing to say. It's fine.
So we got Ola Aina, we've got Uran Timber. Who else did you just say? Mazraoui.
I think Einer's the one. It's a good shout.
Let me look in the table.
No, I don't look in the table. I sent you this earlier. I would expect you to
You did.
Cool.
But I'm still gonna look.
All right, so we're going with Ola Aina. Who you got as your centre backs? 2, please.
Van Dijk and Gabriel.
Cool.
Yeah, that was mine. That was mine as well.
Yeah, I'll go there. Why not?
Yeah, okay. And interesting one, left back.
Robinson.
No way. Oh, are you talking Robinson, not Robertson? Okay,
yeah.
Calm down, brother.
Man.
So I've got
with the names.
So I think Kirkes at Bournemouth is a shout as well. I think he's been very good.
One of those two for me.
Yeah. I'll go with Kirkes. In fact, no, let me not be disingenuous. I hate his guts, but I think it has to be Cucurella. I think it has to be Cucurella.
I think Robinson for me is just. I think the few times I've watched him against Chelsea, against us, like even against Arsenal, where it's a good tussle. I think Saka probably beats him.
Nah, he got cooked against Arsenal. I think we have to give. Let's be honest. Let's give this one to Cucurella, man. I don't really think I've seen anyone. I don't think I've seen anyone like actually cook him. Like normally I'm calling him Cucurella and stuff, but I've not really had an opportunity to do that this season.
I'm not. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
Cool. Koogs, is there anybody else you had to add, maybe? Or you have with Cucurella? No? Okay. Just cover the deepest midfielder. I'll start with you, Tobs.
I don't know. It's between Gravenberch, sorry, and Caicedo.
I'd have both in there personally.
It's one of those two.
Both in there with Palmer.
But if you're doing 4, you said you wanted to do 4-3-3 though.
Yeah.
Well, then Gravenberch can sit ahead. Sod it.
No, we can't.
Is that reminiscent of how he's been used this season? Wouldn't you say maybe Gravenberch's the deepest and then Caicedo in one of the main?
Well, Caicedo has been played
right back as well. Fair.
I think in there. Let the hoopers hoop.
Oh,
I lean to Gravenberch, to be honest, over Caicedo in the 6, just because I think Liverpool's position. He's finally been really consistent there as well. So I'll lean to Gravenberch over Caicedo personally.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue against that. Yeah, I think it's tight, but I'll give it to Gravenberch.
Okay, cool. And the 2 midfielders ahead of Gravenberch.
I've got Iwobi in there and Cole Palmer.
Okay. Any other names?
I'm putting Cole Palmer and Kulusevski.
Any other names?
I think Palmer and Kulusevski for me, but Iwobi's been really impressive.
Surprised no mentioned Morgan Rogers.
I think Kulusevski.
I'm not having him, man.
I think he's been good, but I feel like he's had several cold games. I think as in cold, as in like not good.
Yeah.
Kulu, I think he's just been more influential.
I think Iwobi's been fantastic this season, though, to be honest.
Yes,
I think he's been really, really good. And to be fair, I haven't watched that many Spurs games. To be honest, so
you ain't missed much.
Yeah, I'm putting Kulusevski there. I think he's been quality this season.
Yeah. So who are we going with? Cole Palmer and Kulusevski.
Yeah.
I've been outvoted.
Yeah, unfortunately, Koogs. I'm going to clear Tobes. I'd say Tobes' influence decision there. Front 3. Let's start at the right hand side.
Mo Salah.
Salah.
Cool. Left hand side.
This one's tight.
Luis Diaz.
Why we put fucking hell, Luis Diaz? Fucking hell, this one's tight.
I'm putting Saka in there at left wing, man. I think left wing has stank. I think it's stank.
Do you know what it is? I would go Saka, Dan, but we said we're playing players in their position. Otherwise, Caicedo would be in the team for me. So we have to go with Luis Diaz. We have to.
Why do we have to go with Luis Diaz though?
There's no way Luis Diaz gets no way Luis Diaz gets in the halfway team of the season.
Come on,
he scored 2. And the fact you would even try that, I question your integrity.
It is actually mental.
I question your integrity.
I'm looking at options. I feel like
we have to go Luis Diaz.
I think left wing has been diabolical, man. I'm sorry.
It's not been good.
Who are the potential candidates? What names came to mind?
Anthony Gordon.
Bro, but the thing is, Anthony Gordon, he scored like he didn't score for like 3 months. So,
yeah, I know. I'm giving names.
Mariah's giving names. Yeah, I've asked a question.
So it's
Gordon, Neto, Sancho, Martinelli, Trossard, Gakpo,
Martinelli,
like this Cho, like it's just not good.
Yeah,
so Son so poor this season as well.
We're saying players from their positions, right?
Yeah, but come on, this is egregious.
It probably is Luis Diaz in that.
There's no way we've got to make a.
There's no way I'm putting Luis Diaz in a.
Yeah, he's not getting in the half.
Give it Saka.
Give it Saka. Yeah. All right, and then up top,
Cunha.
You know what? Can we put Cunha left? Can we? I know he plays left 10, but can we put him left wing?
Fair. Put Cunha left. And
let's put Cunha left wing. I know he plays.
Take Saka out the team, man.
No.
Yeah, I like it.
Let's become.
Yep.
Tobs, well done. Shake hands. Yeah, well done. Yeah. Cunha left.
Nasty work, man. Hey, rip Kulusevski out the team right now, man. Rip him out the team.
I can't believe he got in, to be honest with you. So, and then who's up top? Did we say?
Isak, man, for me.
Chris Wood.
Nah, I'm putting Chris Wood.
You know what? Chris Wood is a shout. He's actually been bagging from the whole season, you know.
Yeah, I think Isak's just been hot the last 6 weeks, basically.
Fair. I'll go Chris Wood. He's better than Havertz, by the way, and that's to a certain German brother that is in the Touchy Gooners Powerpuff camp. Yeah?
And then who is the manager?
We said that already, no? Manager of the season.
Did we say that? Sorry, that's not the next one. Sorry. Goal of the season so far.
Goal of the season. Ooh.
Once again, to be clear, I sent these questions ahead of time.
Yeah, no. My goal of the season. It was between two, right? Obviously, it was Calafiori at City. I thought that was a great goal. And I really like Saka's against Nottingham Forest, but for me, I'm saying Calafiori.
There was a goal that Cunha scored against Fulham that I thought was fantastic, bro. Like where he's literally just swept it, top bins.
He scored 2 goals in that game. I think I actually prefer the one where he takes a touch and then sweeps it in.
Yeah,
that one's I think that's my favorite goal this season because like it's a proper like quality goal where very few strikers are taking that touch into their path that way and then finishing it. So I'm gonna go for one of Cunha's goals against Fulham.
Fair enough. Nobody liked Chris Wood's goal yesterday.
It's all right.
You mean today? I've not seen it yet.
Sorry,
I've not seen it yet.
So you guys are going with what goal? Sorry.
Cunha against Fulham.
For me, either Cunha against Fulham or Isak against Liverpool.
Yeah, Isak goes really good.
Oh yeah, to be fair, Isak against Liverpool is a screamer still. That's
yeah. Isak against Liverpool.
That's a good shout, Tobs. That's a good shout.
Hold that. Cool.
I looked at my 9s and shook my head, man.
Let's go to our weekly awards. Start with the get Big Sam in as defensive coach if he ain't managing. So, what manager are you guys going to call out this week, positively or negatively? I'll start with you, Koogs.
It's Lopetegui, man. Get him out of here, man. He's trash.
Again,
He is trash, man. He's actually pissing me off every week. He's so.
Bro,
how many slappings have they taken already? How many slappings? Everyone's given them a slapping. Chelsea slapped them. We slapped them. Liverpool slapped them. I think Fulham slapped them.
We slapped them as well.
You slapped them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
I'm surprised.
We should have lost to Southampton as well.
I'm surprised he's not gone.
It's ridiculous.
How many goals have they conceded this season?
The thing is, they conceded like 70 plus last season as well. So it's like it was already a very low base that you're working with. 74 goals last season they conceded. What the hell?
Wow.
Yeah.
Moisey. All right, cool. Dr. Mike?
I'm going to have to go with Ange. I just think his view of football and the way he perceives football for me is just so flawed.
That's crazy. Like how the man sees football, like, irks your spirit.
He has a terrible feel for the game. He's terrible feel for the game, in my views. It's just back to Tobs' point about should he be rewarded with a good set of players? Probably not. He doesn't deserve that, I don't think. I think for me, the turning point was probably that Chelsea game last season. Since then, I've been looking at him a bit differently, and I think I've only been proven right by what I've seen subsequently. He's just not what it looks like for me.
Understood. And Tobes?
Yeah, I'm backing that. Ange Postecoglou shout. When he puts it together in certain games, he's a decent coach. But my thing is, he's far too flawed in his approach of football, and he's far too inconsistent in his ability to change. In fact, he's not even inconsistent. He rarely changes things. It almost comes off as a lack of respect to the opposition, but I don't even think it is a lack of respect to the opposition. I think it's just pure arrogance in your belief that your way is always going to be the prevailing factor in a game of football, when clearly it isn't. 9 defeats out of 19, clearly it isn't. He's there.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. It's not double denim. This is an award for the moment that had you the most rattled this week. Koogs, I want to start again with you. Randomly, what moment had you the most rattled this week?
What might this be? No, it's that Saka Instagram pic. Yeah, was just peak, to be honest. Because to be fair, I've been sort of, and Tobs will attest to this, I've been trying to keep a bit upbeat about the injury. Obviously, it's a big blow, this and the other. But yeah, seeing him in the hospital bed, it's where it kind of sank in. I was like, yo, my guy is actually cooked. His peak.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question, probably the best place to insert it. It was almost 3 years ago where you said 3 years from now, Saka would be the best right winger in the world. Is it fair? Do you concede?
Yeah, because obviously Salah's moving mad, yeah, but it's still a dub to me, to be honest. Because, and I'll tell you why. Yeah, obviously because for me it doesn't necessarily, like, obviously it would have been fantastic if he was certified, yeah, as best in the world. I'm not going to try and twist and worm my way out of it, but the reason why it's a
dub is kind of, you are twisting. But
the reason why it's a dub to me is because he's obviously just cold and he's in that category, right? For me, anyways. People can try disagree, but
it's a question. Where was he when you made that shout? Wasn't he in the same category?
I don't think so. I think at the time when I made that shout, I think he hadn't even scored double-figure goals in the league. Yeah.
Okay. Where would you rank him now? So you've obviously got your Miles, you've got your Salah.
I think he's top 3. He's top 3.
So rank your top 3. Who are top 3 right now?
I think Salah's still the best. I've still. This is the thing. I'm not watching Yamal weekly. Yeah, so I'm not watching Yamal weekly. So I have Saka ahead of him.
Do the right thing.
But I have Saka ahead of him. But if someone says they think Yamal's the best or better than Saka, I'm not gonna argue too tough. But I'm not watching him. I'm not watching him weekly. So that's why I said I think he's top 3. I think those are the only 2 that I'll accept putting above Saka at right wing.
I'm trying to think. When you made the shout, it was Salah who was ahead of him. It wasn't a stellar list of right-sided attackers.
Mahrez was there. Like this, we came up with a list of names. There was people there.
There weren't many, bro. There weren't many.
Oh, so now, okay. So when I make the shout, people said it's the wild. It was bare wild. This and that.
It wasn't bad. Happen.
So now,
even though there weren't many names, it still wasn't going to happen, and it didn't happen.
Okay, so now we're trying to say that when I made the shout, the bar wasn't that high. Yeah, that's what we're trying to say. When at the time, that's revisionism. That's revisionism.
Okay, Koogs, name the players you think at the time
revise anything. I'm just asking you.
That's revisionism.
Nobody's revising anything. I'm asking you a question in real time.
Because Morayo, I will put the clip as well, yeah? When the clip is there, you literally told me to F off when I said the shout. So now we can't say, the bar wasn't that high. The bar wasn't that high. There weren't even that many players. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because no one in that room thought he was going to be even top 3.
Did I say the bar wasn't that high? Does that come out of my mouth?
That is what you're implying, though.
No, it's not what I'm implying. I'm just generally asking you.
There weren't that many players in front of him. What are you trying to imply there?
I'm not trying to imply anything. I'm trying to contextualize what you said then versus now. Just like how is that right wing position in terms of the amount of players? Not trying to say there weren't that many players.
And let me tell you this. At the time, people are putting him in Jared Bowen conversations. Yeah, that's what was happening at the time. People are
disingenuous though.
No, it's not disingenuous. People are making that argument seriously. It was there on the Discord.
It was disingenuous. What you got? You use the Discord. That's your source. Trust me, bro.
No. Not on the Discord. I mean, TLF guys, when we're having a conversation on the Discord, are making that statement. So we're not gonna do this and say, oh yeah, there weren't that many guys. There weren't that many guys in front of him. There weren't that many guys in front of him. There's been bare man in front of him. People are bringing Kulusevski.
Chill. My guys, my guys.
People are bringing Kulusevski to me, saying he's better than Saka 2 years ago. So we're not going to do this.
Let's not use the Kulusevski. Talk on Garnacho, yeah. Talk on Garnacho. Remember saying Garnacho.
No, nobody said Garnacho ahead of Saka. Nobody.
And Anthony over Saka as well.
I think a lot of one straw man argument. Let's leave Kulu out of it, yeah.
Yeah, they bring straw man arguments.
We all make mistakes,
yeah. Cool. So what moment had you the most rattled? It's not double denim.
I would say there was a moment in the Nottingham Forest game. I think it was 4 minutes in. Son is driving at the heart of the team, and the pass is on to Brennan Johnson, and he's shot, and he's giving off this tepid and slow shot straight at the goalkeeper. And when he did that, I said, yeah, safe. Like that there is a living embodiment of what we're going to have to put up with for the rest of this game. And that just had me, I just said, yeah. And that's just been Son this entire week. He's just been
Is it time to start to contemplate releasing Swans?
It depends.
Just talking to them like, oh, hi guys, you may have a trip to,
it depends.
Have a trip to Spurs Stadium coming up.
It depends. So if you're talking about a 31 going 32-year-old Son as a touchline winger in 2024, those Sons have probably reached Guatemala by now because they were released. Last season. Yeah.
Okay.
If we're talking about Son, final third execution is still peak. Can still shoot, can still cross, can still pass. He's still got those things in his locker. So it's about load management.
Where's his best position?
His best position is like an inside left forward, literally. Play him closer to goal and don't play him every single game. He should have his minutes slashed. You bring him on against it's the truth. Slash his minutes. You bring him on again against a team like Wolves today to try and win the game. You play him closer to goal, and then you rest him, and then you maybe play him against Liverpool in the League Cup next week. That's how we should have been using Son, but we've had to flog, and we're still going to have to flog because we're not going to bring in anyone else to give us the luxury to do that with Son. So, yeah.
Fair enough. Did you give us your moment, Mike?
No, but to be fair, I've had a really good week, bro. I'm on top of the league. I'm not rattled, bro. I'm just not rattled.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily need to be to do with Liverpool. Just generally, just in the football world. Moment that it's had you like, hold on a minute.
Oh, tell a lie. No, sorry, I'm changing mine. Sorry, apologies. The moment that had me most rattled this week is seeing some Spurs fans now come out and say, league form does not matter. Forget about the league title. It's a write-off. Let's focus on the cups. This is a team that haven't won a cup in
the Dan Koogs argument.
16 years.
The Dan Koogs. Yeah, the Dan Koogs.
Boy, I'm trying to get some joy for you, man, in May. You get what I'm saying,
Dan Koogs dissertation. Scrap the league and prioritize.
Was that Ronnie that said that?
No, it wasn't Ronnie. There was no way would it be Ronnie. Ronnie doesn't subscribe to that nonsense.
Fair enough. So you have
to hold that, man.
Actually, the one moment that rattled me was just like watching old Neymar comps earlier this week and just thinking, we really released Swans for my man, like at the age of 30. Like, that can't be right, man. That level of genius in Saudi Arabia at 32, it pains me. That pains me. It's not right.
Yeah, Neymar, genius, still moving devious. He chose the money, man. He chose the money. So
chose the money, man. It's sad.
He's gonna go to Brazil. I think him lot are buying Santos. So yeah, I'll probably go and see out his last few years in Brazil. Try win a couple.
Buying Santos.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they're buying Santos, bro. I say what? It's a football team that could be bought.
It should be Santos buying him, but he's saying no. Fuck it, I'm gonna buy them and just sub myself in like it's FIFA.
Crazy, man. I can't believe we released Swans for Neymar at 30.
Santos wouldn't buy him. So you know what? I'm going to buy you and I'm going to sign myself anyway. Cool. And the final one is the ESR. I know I have talent. Underrated award of the week. I'll start with you, Tobs.
You know what? I'm actually going to give it to Archie Gray, man. He's been playing at centre back for us, and I was a bit skeptical on the money that we paid for him. But whilst he's playing at centre back, I can actually see glimpses of why people rate this guy so much. He's very, very cultured in possession. He's got good pass appreciation, and he seems so calm on the ball. And he's actually done his defensive work well in a position that he's been thrown into with minimal experience, minimal adjustment. So I'm gonna give it to Archie Gray, man.
Fair enough. To Mike.
Good one. Archie Gray's a good shout. I actually fought against us, even though he lost the game quite emphatically. He actually stood out to me as a player with good composure, good quality on the ball. So he's a good shout. I'm gonna give it to Tyler Diblin. On the underrated app, I'm his sole lead investor. He scored a goal today. He's a good player. I think Saints have looked a bit more robust in the last couple of weeks, and he's kind of like their attacking quality kind of centers around him. So yeah, I think he's a good player that I think if they do go down, someone else will grab him because he's got quality to play in the Premier League, in my view.
I like that. And cheeky plug for underrated there as well. I love that. Koogs, who's your underrated of the week?
Miles Lewis Skelly, man. Yeah, the kid's a phenom, man, to be honest. I think just how physically and technically ready he is to play at this level is just super, super impressive, man. Like, there's just times where that match against Ipswich, you know, not even really talking about Amari Hutchinson, because I don't think he was really offering much for them, but just where he was bringing the ball into midfield, almost baiting their press, and he was just able to skip past players, ride a few challenges, and still retain the ball, and it all just looked very, very easy for him, to be honest. So yeah, I think he's a huge talent that we have at the club.
Fair. Cool. Let's finish up with some listeners' questions, gents. Oh no, there's one more, wasn't there? There's the no agenda of the week. How could I forget? Almost forgot it. Like the no agenda show has been forgotten by Disu and Ant. Koogs, what's your agenda of the week?
Hey, Phil Foden got hooked today, man, and that McAtee came on and hooped out of control on his head top. Yeah, so I'm not having all these systems chat about Foden. That he just needs to rise it, man. What he's doing right now is actually, frankly, just a joke. He needs to rise. I'm sorry, he's been pathetic this season.
Ayomi Day rise, man. Tobs.
Oh, tough one. You know what? My agenda of the week is going to be Callum Hudson-Odoi, because I hear it's an oldie but goodie, right? Because like he played
tried and tested. Yeah, muscle
memory.
Because nothing else to cook, no moves are working. Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Because when he scores his curlers, we hear talk of he should be playing at a bigger club, this, that, and the third.
The platform, Tobs. It's the platform,
bro. The platform. Yeah. Nottingham Forest are flying. They're second in the league, and yet I'm watching these games, and he's not really moving me. Sorry, he's not really moving me. It's not to say that he's playing bad, but I'm like, I don't see this player that's just gonna go to a bigger team and just carry that team on his back. So Callum Hudson-Odoi, I'm watching you again. Yeah,
I'll be watching you. Cool. And last agenda, I think it is you,
me,
Mike.
I'm keeping a really close eye between now and May on Arsenal Football Club. I've heard a lot last year about what it looks like. I'll never forget. I have to tell this story in the pod. When Arsenal crashed it on our heads tops in February, right? I was talking spicy before the game. We did a spaces where I was telling Dan this, that, and the other. Listen, I was in my bag last season. We lost the game 3-1, and it should have been like a 5-0. On the way out, I watched the game in Cambridge. I raw dogged a 2-hour drive from Cambridge to my house. No music, no radio, pitch black on the M1. I was down bad. So to see Arsenal fans where they are now, I'm seeing copium. I'm seeing guys waiting on a Mo Salah injury or something crazy to happen. It means more. So between now and May, I'm keeping a very close eye on all things Arsenal Football Club. I will be there. I'm not even hate watching anymore. I'm just keeping an eye, like just little sofa score. Okay, cool, noted. Move on. I'm keeping an eye. I'll be there.
And I like that. And sorry, just to buttress my point with just to buttress my point with Callum Hudson-Odoi. I was doing a little research as you do, and fun fact: Callum Hudson-Odoi has scored 1 goal in his last 14 appearances for Nottingham Forest in the league. 1-4, 14 appearances. Elanga didn't score a goal for like 4 months, and Elanga has scored more league goals than Callum Hudson-Odoi.
I like it.
Again. We go again. That agenda was keeping the lights on for you in 2020. Tobs.
Yo, bro, I was eating. I was eating, bro.
Every Discord, every single Discord. All right, let's finish up with some listeners' questions. First one is from Ranch Stinger. Shout out Ranch from Touchline Fracas. How has Slot changed things for Liverpool? With no real transfers, how have they been so much better this season?
I think he's just very flexible from a tactical perspective. I feel like when I watch Liverpool play, he does logical things. Like against us, that's a team that you can just blitz. Okay, go attack, put bodies forward, put players in between the lines. Versus, okay, cool, this team's gonna sucker punch you in transition like a Brentford or something at home. Fine, cool. Let's keep the ball. Let's take this thing out of the game. Let's not give them the opportunity to actually counter us in certain moments. I feel like he's just like, I don't want to try and like reduce his impact because I think he's had a very good impact. But fundamentally, I just think like he's just done common sense things in critical moments for Liverpool consistently well this season. I don't know if Mike.
Yeah,
interestingly though. Sorry, no, Mike. You go. I'll go after you.
I do think that we were already a really good team last season. People forget that in April, up until like that last month or so, where we completely collapsed, it's actually just a team that is competing for the title. So I think what he's done so far is built on what we saw last season. I think there's more control. He's using players in the right positions, I think, which is a good thing. So, for example, Gakpo's playing on the left, where he likes to play. Diaz actually has played number 9 a lot and looks really, really good there. McAllister's no longer the number 6. He's playing a bit ahead of a 6. There's small little tweaks like that, more control. So Konate isn't having to defend an entire island by himself now, for example. He still has a lot of defensive work to do, but it's, again, far more control, far more, to use Sushi's language, tactical layers, tactical models that we're seeing in games and between games. So, yeah, I think, but a lot of this is built on the platform of last season, and I think we get 82 or 84 points last season. So already that's a level for me of consistency that is quite high. So it's a really good team. That's probably just taking my next step under a new manager. So I don't see anything drastically changing, but just like a few tweaks to make us a slightly better team.
Yeah, the only point I was going to make was that a lot of the results aren't that different from last season. It's just obviously, you know, how the fixtures have fallen, the order that you're playing the games in, etc. Is so like I think up until the last month, you were actually -1 on the equivalent results from last season, right? Down. But then obviously you beat Man City and beaten West Ham to put you actually, I think, +5 or +4 on the equivalent fixtures from last season, right? So
yeah,
so I think, you know, it's not actually that different results-wise in those same games, but you know, when you're putting this run together, you have to commend it and you have to give credit where it's due.
Fair. Next question from James NUFC 92. James Maddison has scored more goals than Havertz in 3 less starts in the Premier League. Your thoughts on this?
Boy. I'm going to leave that to...
My Siri came on.
I'm going to leave that to certain I'm going to leave that to certain German brothers to debate, man, because they tell us about Kai Havertz. He scored less goals than our midfielder. But then again...
Wait, what was the question? Seriously?
Oh, your Siri literally came on.
Yeah.
From James NUFC 92. James Maddison has scored more goals than Havertz in 3 less starts in the Premier League. Your thoughts on this?
Boy, Havertz don't take enough shots, man. That's my thoughts.
Havertz is just not good. Full stop. How about that?
I'm not commenting on that.
No.
Keep that in house.
The fact you're not defending him says it all.
It's not good, man.
From Strictly Eye Test. How does Salah's Christmas tree look this season?
Yeah, nice tree, man.
Good tree, man.
Where does it rank in the trees that you showed?
I don't know what you're going to say.
Bro, honestly, what are we meant to say to this?
Is it a top two tree? Is it a top two tree or not? That's all I want to know. Anyway, I am Mr. Lane. With Liverpool so clear not looking like slowing down, if you were on the Arsenal board, do you bother trying to sign a top 9 or keep the powder dry and hope you pick up a cup with what you have?
What kind of loser question is that, man?
What are you signing, man?
Man players, bro. What the hell?
Signing good hackers.
Man's throwing in the towel already.
I'm sorry, yeah. There's literally 19, half the season left to play. Bro. Yeah, like if ultimately, yeah, fine. Saka got injured, but it's not like someone said Saka's going to go down in the 17th game of this season. Yeah,
right.
And this is not me wishing injury on anyone, but we actually don't know that Liverpool are going to come through to the end of the season with a clean bill of health. Like their key players can also get injured. To Mike's point, Gravenberch goes down. So why would you not want to be there to take advantage of anything that can fall in your favor as well? So I'm sorry, the board and German Dan doesn't normally make such claims like this, like, oh, we need to show ambition, this, that, and the other. But he's even said that if we come out of this January window without making an attack and signing, then we're lacking ambition. And that's just the simple facts.
You're saying the German Dan seal of approval, yeah?
I'm saying like that to me, he's laying down ultimatums, bro. He's laying down ultimatums.
He runs the seal of approval. The way for his seal of approval. Wow, Sushi running the chat, yeah.
Art of war. Yeah, Sushi has said this is an ultimatum to the Arsenal board. So, boy,
yeah. Let's hope they're listening. You mentioned something about copium on this tweet the other day. I was cracking up. Mr. Take it game by game. Head's gone. Next one. Napif Howard. Who is to blame when Arsenal looking to fail? Who's to blame with Arsenal looking to fail another title challenge, especially with City falling off? Is Arteta not that good, or are the likes of Saka, Odegaard, Saliba, Rice not that good?
It's a mix. It's a mix. We've spoken about this already, though.
Yeah, I think we've answered that. Afs. Is Lou Bob 81 still running an agenda on Vinicius for Martinelli?
What?
Is he doing it for Martinelli? I think he's doing it for Saka, though. I think he's doing it for Saka.
There was a time he was doing it for Martinelli, bro.
Nasty work. Nasty work.
Well, he needs to defend himself on the pod. That needs to be like a trial episode on the pod. He needs to be flogged. He needs to be flogged for that.
Fair enough. Strictly eye test. If Salah continues at the rate he's going in the event of Red winning the league, where does this season rank in all-time individual Prem seasons?
It's up there.
It lands, man.
Yeah, but like there's still half a season.
Yeah, still a lot of football to play, but 17 goals, 12 assists in 18 games is bonkers.
So let's say you've got 34 goals, 24 assists, and you guys win the title.
Wow, I don't think that will happen in terms of the.
That's the question. That's the question. That's literally if Salah continues at the rate he's going, and the Reds end up winning the league, where does this rank?
If he ends with 34 goals and 24 assists, it is the best season in Premier League history. That's an insane level of output. It wouldn't happen, by the way. If he gets 34 goals and 24 assists, that's insane. So, yeah. What do you want me to say?
No, you answered it. But there's an issue we don't know. We're halfway. No, the question was asking you to project and speculate based on the information you have. Somebody said that the focus on STEM has meant that the arts have suffered, and therefore people don't know how to extrapolate data. They don't know what they're reading. They don't know how to understand the questions being asked. And I just saw it live in action from the three of you.
No, it's not even that I didn't want to answer the question. It was just, for whatever. What I would say on Salah,
it was that.
I was thinking about it, because everyone's saying the whole Christmas tree curse and second half of the season thing. He's got 20 games left in the league to play in. What do you guys think is a good level of output in terms of goals? If he was to play, let's assume he plays all 20 games. how many goals and assists would you want to see from him?
He's got 17.
He should be hitting 30 plus, I think.
What, goals?
Yeah. That's 1 and 2. Well, no, it's better than 1 and 2. But
it's 13
it's 3 and 4. 3 and 4.
It's 13
like 3
and 20,
4, basically.
Which I think is very doable for him. Yeah.
I definitely think he should be trying to hit 30 goals. And, depending how much he wants to push for it. Haaland got 36, was it?
Yeah.
If I was Salah, I would be aiming to get that record. Personally.
Yeah, 30 plus goals and 20 assists. I think that puts him in.
Yeah, he's actually on 13 assists.
Unprecedented company.
So what's it? You need 8 more assists in the 20 games? Is that the all-time assist?
7 more assists. Well, yeah, 8 more assists. 8 more assists. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's gonna get that. I think he's gonna get that.
Calm down. You're gonna get some. Wow, scary hours, man. And league title to boot. Yeah, conversations will have to be had.
Yeah, that even has
what conversations are those?
Certain man will get compared. Yeah.
I saw Aguero comparisons.
Yeah. Good player.
What? Wait. What?
You man can have them conversations.
Stay easy on that one, please. Let's chill on that one, yeah.
No, we're not chilling on shit, bro.
No, let's chill on that one.
We're 2 hours, bro. We don't.
Let's chill on that one. Yeah. Anyway, no, he's not.
He's better than Aguero.
Guys, we will do this
not.
We'll do this another week. Okay. Miraculous Murray. A warm season's greetings all at Touchline Fracas. Thank you, Murray. As we approach the beloved transfer window, which club will activate the refunds and returns policies on their summer signings and look to remedy the situation?
Listen, Mickey Marino, man.
I was going to say send that Mickey Marino back to San Sebastian, yeah.
What about Raheem Sterling?
Raheem Sterling. Let's not, man. I don't even want to. I really like Sterling, the guy. I really like Sterling as a guy, but this signing is not the one, man. I think we've completely crashed out in summer. As far as I'm concerned, yeah.
And when Koogs, I'll be ready to crash out. I know that this is not it. Cool. A final. I think for us, who the hell did we sign? Xerxes, got the hell back to where you came from, man. And take Lebo Grill as a franchise with you, man.
Lebo Grill.
Does it have to be summer? Can we stretch to January as well?
I think again, each one teach one. The question is very clear in regards to what you're being asked. Can we stay within those parameters?
Fine. Timo Werner, pack your bags, bro, and send him back to flipping. Oh, man, I was gonna say something mad. Oh my
I know. You are.
Oh my days. Yeah.
I felt that on the tip of your tongue there.
Yeah. Steady. Keep your head
gonna say something mad. Oh my days.
Goodness me.
Yeah, you're absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
You know what? And you know what? Yeah, I almost like. No, Xerxes, I'm running with you. Tobs, I'm running with you. I was almost in your head. I knew it. Tobs, I'm running with you. I knew it.
Oh my god.
You're insane. But Timo Werner, yeah?
Yes. Get him gone, man.
All right, and any from you, Mike?
Listen, Chiesa one is interesting. I don't know what is going on with that brother.
Interesting. Send that brother back to Italy.
I don't know what is going on with that brother. Listen, he's been ill like 15 times. Is he not washing his hands at home or something? Like, what's going on? Like licking door handles or something. What's going on?
What I said? Unwell. Like he's like literally unwell.
Man's
like,
got no immune
he's
system.
out of the squad for an illness. I'm like, are you licking door handles, bro, or are you?
Yeah. They hiding something else in it. You know when they start to do like to this day, we still don't know why Malaysia was out for like a year plus.
He's in punch.
You gotta go make back your transfer fee, my boy. Like you guys flat out robbed us, man. Cool. And final question is from D Dolo. Team of the season so far based on peer performances alone. We've done that. So, gents, as always, thanks for your time this Sunday. Another 2-hour plus pod. Next time I see you or speak to you, it'll be 2025 probably. So season's greetings, happy new year, all that good stuff. We'll catch up with you guys on the other side. Peace.
Peace.
Yo. When I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan. When I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.